Hi there, my name is David Maurice Smith and I'm a photojournalist based in Sydney, Australia, but originally from Canada. Earlier this year I received a grant from the Pulitzer Center on Crisis Reporting to travel to Attawapiskat, which is a small First Nations community in Northern Ontario. The community became quite famous in the news in April of 2016 because it declared a state of emergency due to a high number of suicide attempts. The community has under 2,000 people and they had over 100 suicide attempts in a 10-month period. The community hit a tipping point, and for a very short period of time they received a lot of attention in the media. However, as I expected, that attention quickly dissipated, and I did not feel that a lot of the core issues facing First Nations communities were addressed. And so with the backing of the grant, I was able to spend 4 weeks in Attawapiskat and create a body of work that looked more at the suicide crisis in a cultural context and allowed for the members of the community to address the situation from their perspective. The issues facing Attawapiskat are not unique to that community. They are very much an issue for a lot of First Nations communities in Canada. People in Canada who are First Nations are up to 6 times more likely to suicide than their non-First Nations counterparts. So it's something that speaks to the issues facing First Nations people across the country, and I felt it was important to allow for the people there to have a platform to discuss the issue, and for the Canadian people and for the global audience to be able to understand this community and the crisis in a bigger context, in the context of what it is to be First Nations and what it is to live in a remote community. There's a lot of historical issues that face Indigenous people in Canada that need to be understood in order for an issue like this to be addressed. Intergenerational trauma is a big factor in Attawapiskat and other communities, and so my hope is that the work that I've created allows people who've never been to a remote First Nations community to better understand the community and empathize with the people living there, and get a better understanding for what types of issues those people face and what the fabric of their community is like. So I'm very grateful to the Pulitzer Center for their support, and I look forward to the feedback that I get from the reporting that I've done.